Hello, my lovely supporters, and welcome back to the MJ Innocent podcast. I'm your host, Moonwalker Tanya. Alright, part 6, here we go.
Larry Feldman immediately suspects child sexual abuse. So far, no child had revealed that. So he arranges for the kids, the boys, to be interviewed by a psychologist.
I've spent many years working in child abuse cases, in particular sexual abuse cases.
But how many of those cases involved a celebrity and the accusers only wanted money?
Family came to me via Larry Feldman, attorney. Mr. Feldman wanted me to interview 3 children who he was concerned and maybe thought had been molested or exploited by Michael Jackson. I interviewed Starr, the other son, on 2 occasions, and I interviewed Gavin on 2 occasions. I recall that Starr accused Mr. Jackson of providing him with alcohol, including red wine and vodka, not only on the private jet, but also at Neverland.
First, when it comes to the airplane, Michael had security everywhere. So why didn't anyone see Michael give the boys alcohol? And also, alcohol has a very strong smell to it. So if the boys were drinking alcohol, how come no one ever smelled it on their breath? And yes, Michael was accused of giving the boys alcohol also at Neverland, but here's the thing though. It actually has been proven that both Gavin and Starr broke into the wine cellar once at Neverland, but Michael was not there when it happened.
Starr also told me that on one occasion he witnessed Gavin passed out on Michael Jackson's bed, with Michael Jackson laying there on his back with a hand down his own pants and a hand on his brother's crotch.
That was also proven false during the trial, because to anyone who hasn't looked into this, when you're in Michael's room and you're approaching the stairs where you would have to go up in order to get to Michael's bed, there are alarm bells on that door, and you cannot sneak past it. They even did an experiment where they put a camera on the bed and tried to get past the alarm bells, but you would still hear ding dong, ding dong. It would be impossible for Starr to get past those alarm bells and see what he saw.
We know how to determine credibility.
Apparently not.
Get the impression that these children were fabricating.
They were.
Consistency between stories. I had heard some of this before in the Jordan Chandler case.
But there wasn't any evidence to back that up either. This is all hearsay. I mean, yeah, you should report things like this so they can be investigated, but to say that there's credibility when there isn't any evidence to back up that claim, then that doesn't make any sense.
It's still clear to me that there was enough information here to pursue further investigation.
So Dr. Katz contacted Child Protective Services in Los Angeles, as he's a mandatory reporter and has to report that. They then contact the sheriff's office in Santa Barbara because that's where the acts of abuse occurred. That commenced the investigation.
Investigators from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department, Santa Barbara District Attorney's Office, served a search warrant at Neverland Ranch in Los Olivos.
It was a complete waste of time, but at least they found nothing, but still, it destroyed Neverland, that's for sure.
Member is putting on the TV set and seeing something out of an action film.
You call that an action film? Do you even know what an action film even is?
Car after car after car, cop car, in this giant caravan. It was like the O.J. Simpson slow speed chase. It's one of those moments that once you see it, you will never forget it.
So first, at the beginning of this mockumentary, they compare Michael to Harvey Weinstein, and now they're doing it to O.J. Like I've said before, stop comparing Michael to people who actually have evidence against them or people who have actually been convicted.
Is valuable evidence uncovered during that raid?
Well, I mean, certainly all of the adult entertainment stuff I thought was valuable.
Just so everyone knows, it was legal adult heterosexual pornography. There wasn't any child pornography, and there wasn't any homosexual pornography.
We covered a number of magazines, particularly from a briefcase. Some of the things like Penthouse and Hustler, very graphic, sexually graphic. It was where the boy said it would be. We found bottles of booze where he said that we would find.
As far as the suitcase, I remember when I was researching this, Michael was speaking with one of his managers, or it could have been a security guard. It was one or the other. And then Gavin and Starr came into the room dragging the suitcase that had Michael's pornography in it. Michael was furious and ordered them to take the suitcase away from the boys. Because here's part of the problem. When the boys were at Neverland, they could go anywhere in the house, and they went through Michael's drawers, his closets, his personal items, his suitcases, etc. They got into a lot of things that they should not have gotten into. So, and of course, Michael should have hid the magazines better, but still, just because you were able to go into any room in the house, that doesn't mean that you can just go through his personal belongings, But Gavin and Starr, they were poorly raised, so what do you expect?
There were a lot of things that we found that were helpful for me to understand Michael Jackson, to be able to prepare for this trial.
Santa Barbara.
But you still lost. Ha ha. And I also wanted to make it very clear that Tom Sneddon, who we will see in a moment, he actually falsified evidence during the 05 trial. So when they went through Michael's pornography collection, again, legal, adult, heterosexual pornography, nothing illegal. They picked a magazine. They didn't even check when the magazine issue was even published. Tom Sneddon hands this magazine to Gavin while Gavin is not wearing gloves. Tom Sneddon says, "Is this the particular issue Michael used to seduce you?" And Gavin said yes. The magazine was checked for fingerprints. Both Gavin and Michael's fingerprints were found on that magazine, and Tom Sneddon's like, look, see, told you. Well, guess what? Like I said, there were two problems with this falsified piece of evidence. Number one, the only reason wait, let me go over the first one first, sorry. That particular issue was published 6 months after the Arvizo family left the ranch. So the only reason Gavin's fingerprints were on that magazine was because he was holding the magazine while not wearing gloves after Tom Sneddon handed him the magazine. So, haha.
There is a warrant outstanding, and I can assure you that within a very short period of time, there will be charges filed.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Mr. Jackson, multiple counts.
Tom Sneddon was a career prosecutor, the district attorney of Santa Barbara, known to a great extent for his association with Michael Jackson.
Thanks for coming to Santa Barbara.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Sneddon, one of the most evil guys in the world. This is the guy who falsified evidence. He died in 2014 due to cancer. And when it comes to Tom Sneddon's death, I was not happy, and I was also not sad at the same time. I felt nothing. Same thing with Evan Chandler's death. But I will say this, Tom Sneddon, I'm really glad you could not help Wade and James with their scam. You piece of crap. I bet you're burning down there, like you have been for the past 11 years.
I hope you all stay long and spend lots of money because we need your sales tax to support our offices.
I was shocked when the prosecutor is grinning and joking and telling the reporters stay a long time and spend a lot of money. It really kind of robbed the trial of its pathos.
You have dealt with this case for a number of years. You were involved 10 years ago. Can you talk about your satisfaction in finally bringing Michael Jackson, in your mind, to justice?
There wasn't any evidence against Michael, so there wouldn't be a reason to bring him to justice.
First of all, I haven't been dealing with Michael Jackson for anything. When that case went to bed 10 years ago, it was out of my mind.
That is a lie, you guys. Tom Sneddon was furious that the Chandlers stopped cooperating after the settlement, even though he knew that's what they were after in the first place. So Tom Sneddon wasted taxpayer dollars going all over the world between the years of 94 and 03, looking for kids who had any interactions with Michael to try to corroborate what Jordan said. But nobody did. He was desperate. He even set up a hotline where people could call anonymously to tell Tom Sneddon that something happened, but nobody ever called. I wonder why.
I found a travel agency. I did all of Michael Jackson's private jets. He always requested the same pilot, usually the same flight attendant, and always Kentucky Fried Chicken. And very specific with the order. I would say you probably spent close to $100,000 every month with us.
I don't like that face that she's making after she says that. Do I detect greed in that? I kind of do. But then, of course, why wouldn't you? After all, you're making over $1 million a year working with Michael.
I do remember getting the phone call about the airplane to Vegas to get Michael to Santa Barbara to be booked. It was just a matter of when he was going to turn himself in. So the press was obviously everywhere. They were like flies on, waiting for him to show up and turn himself in.
Why is that funny?
They were all staking out the airport in Las Vegas, McCarran. So we decided to use a decoy plane, and that was the Learjet that I was actually in. We flew that plane into McCarran to throw the press off. Meanwhile, the Gulfstream will go to North Las Vegas Airport where there's nobody there, and the press won't be there, and Michael can get on board.
Well, Gene, we are seeing a Learjet landing on the runway. We're not sure if this is the aircraft that he may possibly be in.
One of the hypotheses that they had was that there are 2 jets leaving from Vegas, and one of...
You see, this is one of the reasons why I have a huge problem with the media and also with the press, because, I mean, first of all, like, when there's an investigation and stuff, like, I mean, they didn't care about the truth. They cared about ratings and getting the big story. They were basically interfering with it, if you think about it.
Could be a decoy.
They did think it was him in the decoy plane. But then they caught on and they caught the Gulfstream. And the Gulfstream goes into the hangar, but she won't fit, so her tail is sticking out. And then you see all the police come in, and they're all in the hangar.
A motorcade tracked by helicopter delivered the singer to jail, where a pack of cameras waited.
It was pandemonium. Hundreds and hundreds of media have converged on the Santa Barbara County Jail. There's helicopters, everybody wants to know what's going to happen next. This was, to me, one of the most dramatic moments of the whole case. The most famous star in the world is being booked.
Seeing Michael like in cuffs like this, and also based on the treatment that he received while he was booked, it was awful. And I'll react to the, actually, I don't remember if I kept those videos up or not. I probably didn't keep them up. But I'm going to react to the interview Michael did with Ed Bradley at a different time.
Cuffs.
Well, as the world looked on, Michael Jackson, the fizzled king of pop, surrendered to authorities in Santa Barbara, California. The charges, child molestation.
Jackson posted a $3 million bond, then flashed a victory sign and blew a kiss to the crush of media outside the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office.
Michael was pissed off. This time he was going to fight.
What do you mean this time? He wanted to fight last time too. You see, like I've said many times before, I hate programs like this because they leave stuff out on purpose to make Michael look bad. Just as a mind refresher, Michael wanted the criminal case to go first, while the Chandlers wanted the civil case to go first back in 93. The judge stupidly allowed the civil case to go first when there wasn't a conviction. And that settlement alone is the reason why the law was changed in 94, where the criminal case has to go first. So even if Michael wanted to settle in 05, he wouldn't be able to. So what happened in 05 is what should have happened in 93. Oh, and I also wanted to put in a side note just because I forgot to mention this, and one of my viewers reminded me about it, so thank you. In the settlement, it said that the settlement was for child neglect, not child abuse. So, remember that.
Jackson arrives, and you'd think he's on a red carpet going to get an Oscar. People are mobbing him, and he's waving to people.
Michael Jackson is right, and the district attorney is wrong.
These fans had come in from all over the world to support their king. They were angry, they were happy that he was going to be there, they were crying. It was wild.
The first thing the judge says is, you're late. We're not going to tolerate this.
Pop superstar Michael Jackson is at this hour involved in his first court appearance in the sexual molestation case against him.
The arraignment itself took all of 5 minutes. When he left the courthouse, there was still quite a scene outside.
So now it's all hell's breaking loose. People were crying and screaming and trying to get to him.
I was on the phone with my office and I said, oh my God, turn on the TV.
He literally turned his arraignment into a performance, a Las Vegas performance.
Why?
Michael, my sweet, I mean, I love you with all my heart, but that was not a good idea. You really shouldn't have done that. And why Michael did that, I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, I have to admit that was not the right thing to do.
That I will never know. It looked like he didn't realize that he was going on trial for something that could basically cost him his life.
Now, in this part of the mockumentary, this is when Tom Mesereau joins the conversation. And we've already talked about this part, but I think it's important to include this one part.
Did you ask him if he did it?
I did. He said absolutely not. He swore to me up and down, Tom, I would never do a thing like this. And I absolutely believe him 100%.
The kinds of jurors that I wanted were for the most part not available. I like people who are working in responsible positions. People make decisions on a daily basis that affect other people. We weren't getting them. We weren't getting the people who ran businesses and owned businesses because they couldn't be there for 6 months.
Excuse me, I was all of those.
Ha ha.
And that's why I think the prosecution did pick me.
I was very happy with the jury. We had 8 women. We had a couple of people who had experienced child molestation in their family. I said to myself, they know what real allegations of sexual abuse are. They're going to know this stuff is a sham.
Tom Sneddon was the first to speak, and he portrayed Michael as a molester of boys.
And when I was refreshing my memory by listening to the transcripts on a YouTube channel called MJ Trial, I'll never forget when I was listening to the opening statements from Tom Sneddon, even though it wasn't Tom Sneddon's voice, I fell asleep while listening to that episode. I'll never forget that.
We already knew that there had been multiple kids in the past.
It was Jordan, and Jason I rarely count as an accuser anyway.
We already know he paid Jordan Chandler something north of $15 million to...
He paid... Actually, the insurance company paid the settlement. Get it right.
Go away.
Wait, hang on. Let me rewind that. Sorry.
So he's starting off already rather deep in a hole.
Sorry, I didn't rewind it right. Anyway, he's basically saying that he said he paid Jordan the $15 million to make it go away. No. That means you're implying that it's hush money. No. It did not make it go away. Because Jordan's lawyer said himself that the settlement did not silence the family, did not prevent Jordan from testifying, and did not prevent the criminal case from going forward. Tell the entire story instead of telling lies through your fat mouth.
There was nothing about Gavin's behavior or what he was telling us that caused us to believe that this was a fabrication. And then,
oh, really? Despite the fact that his mother is a con artist and she made cards of lies for her sons to study when they came home from school? Okay, yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
Charges against Michael Jackson included 4 counts of child molestation, 1 count of attempted child molestation, 4 counts of basically intoxicating a child, usually with wine, and 1 very odd conspiracy charge to kidnap, abduct, and then hold imprisoned a child. And that relates to allegedly forcing the Arvizo family to stay at Neverland and create a rebuttal video.
And of course, we already went over the kidnapping thing, but anyway, what actually happened was that Michael invited Gavin and the family to the ranch to spend the day there, and they started taking advantage. They stayed there constantly. The boys were damaging the property and going through Michael's personal belongings when they weren't supposed to. Janet Arvizo was ordering employees around and made Michael's security guards drive her to shopping sprees and spa treatments and all this other stuff. Pathetic. And so when they were there for 3 months, and they even started inviting their extended family over to the ranch without Michael's permission, by the way, and then they wanted to live at Neverland, and Michael said no, and said they had to leave. And then that's when they turned on him.
When I get into any criminal case, I have to figure out myself what happened and what the facts are. I came to a conclusion that he was a tremendous target, being the biggest celebrity in the world. And we were trying to argue that there was a strong financial motive, 1, for approaching Michael Jackson, and 2, for instigating his prosecution when Michael Jackson turned away from him. That was our theory.
Exactly. I couldn't say it better myself. And plus, I mean, when I did research after all these years, and I looked over the facts as well. And Tom Mesereau mentioned this in a different interview. I believe it was with John Ziegler, but I'm not 100% confident on that. But he said in one of his interviews that when he is presented a case before he represents somebody, he doesn't think innocent or guilty. He stays in the middle, which is what I did, and then he goes over the facts, and then he decides. And I did it the same way Tom Mesereau did it. So I'm proud of that. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good stopping point for this episode. All right, so I want to say we are about a little over halfway through part 1. Yeah, I know, right? And we still have the rest of part 1 and part 2 to destroy as well. So, yeah, stay tuned for part 7. And yeah, let's have a great conversation in the comments. I love you.